Hello, hello, hello. This is the Bench podcast with, once again, me, Cunnison. Left with me, Alex King. Say hello.
Yeah, all right, guys.
And to my bottom left corner, we've got Georgie B.
Welcome back, guys. Hope you're enjoying the New Year podcast that we're going to be doing, and yeah, enjoy yourselves.
So, with how the screen looks at the moment, you might be able to see something in the bottom right-hand corner. If you got an eye on it, you'll be able to see that we've got a new logo. And if you look on the YouTube channel, if you share it out, you'll see that we've got a new banner. So we've had a new rebrand. You've heard the old one?
Can you try to promote the guy who did this? Because he's done a bang job, to be fair.
Yeah, I ain't joking.
He's done really well though. So
let me get the
No, that's a nice one.
You can put on the screen. Ethan,
I'm only joking.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Mate.
Yeah.
So it's CDP Digital Art on Instagram, and we'll put his link in the description of when this episode comes out. But I think he's done a great job, and it's a little bit of a rebrand that we wanted to do since we hit 100 subscribers. So hopefully it's
a lot more professional, I think, and it shows obviously that we're on the rise as a podcast. Yeah, it's all good.
So yeah, we're good. So today,
the other one wasn't not professional. It just needed up changing. The other one was all right. It just needed changing. It wasn't professional.
It was okay.
It's fine for the purpose, but now we've got something 10 times better. So
exactly.
What can you say? Anyway, we'll move on.
Okay, so the problem we've had in the past, we've started like different series for the podcasts, and we've never carried them on. But hopefully, this will be one. If people like
series.
it.
Sorry, TV series. Yeah. Anyway, back off there. Carry on.
If it does well, and if we can get the idea to it, maybe it'd be something we do in the future. Like, put the comments in below, if you like the idea. But what we're going to do today is we're going to relive the chats and debates that friends have about football conversations that us three have on PS4 or when we're watching football together.
Yeah,
in the pub.
Yeah, etc.
So we're going to start a series about doing debates. Debate topics that are in trend at the moment, debate topics that everyone talks about. And in this debate, it's going to be fighting in the left-hand corner. We've got Georgie B. And in the right-hand corner, we got Kingstar 123.
3. So we'll have many names.
So, first debate, we're gonna bring it a bit closer to home. And like, by the way, I'm gonna be the adjudicator, the anchor. Ask them. I'll be on the fence, and then whoever gives me the best opinion, they'll be the winner of this debate. So.
And then obviously as well, we'll have different combinations. So 1 week I could be the adjudicator, or Kingy could be vice versa. It depends really. But for now, it's going to be me and Kingy in this one. So Take it away.
So we're going to bring this a bit close to home. Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves sadly lost against West Bromwich Albion 3-2 on the weekend. And we were talking earlier that that they've only won one of the last 5 games, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
The debate question, wrong.
How's it wrong?
1 out of 9.
Okay, 1 out of 9, yeah, but yeah. So, the debate for this podcast episode is, are Wolves in trouble for next season? Who wants to start off?
I'll start first, and obviously we can go back and forth. For me personally, I've been saying this since the start of this season, especially with the signings that Wolves have made. And obviously we've covered that a lot in our past podcasts. But I think the way Wolves are currently, for me, it looks like that there could be in a lot of trouble next season, especially.
So when you say in trouble, are you leading to fighting for survival? Or are you thinking to not being at their highest finish, being 7th? last season, or in the top 7 last season.
The way I see it is, I think I've probably mentioned this in the past on previous podcasts. Obviously, Wolves have sold a few players over this summer, the likes of Jota, the likes of Matt Doherty, etc. They've obviously lost Johnny to injury. Jimenez is out for an indefinite period of time now through injury. The squad's looking weaker and weaker as the season goes on. Obviously through no fault, some like the injuries you can't help, and transfers maybe the players were swayed by big money moves. But for me personally, I don't think Wolves have they're not really replaced them in the best way possible. Like the way I've seen is they've signed a lot of young up and coming talents, which on paper it looks like a good thing to do. Obviously for the future of the club to keep it rolling for long periods. But you need to counter that with a lot of experience in that team, because if you look at the team now, you've got maybe João Moutinho is one example. He's got experience, I'd say, at a high level. He's been around the block in Europe and in European Championships for Portugal, for example. You can't really. There's not really a lot else I can say for experience, like in a starting 11 capacity that they've really got like in their squad now. A lot of them are young up and comers or players who've had high potential but need to maybe prove themselves more for this Wolves side. And I just think if they don't make the right signings this summer, for example, then I think it could be a bit of a tough season for next season.
Okay. Made some very good points there. So just to go over it, Bennett thinks that maybe next season Wolves might be in a relegation fight. Fight for survival next season. I've heard that. Kingy, you may disagree with Bennett's points. What you thinking?
I don't think they'll be in a relegation fight. I think they'll be meandering around mid-table probably.
So, like, do you want to elaborate? Like, why don't you think they're going to be fighting for relegation?
Because I think that there's teams that will come up, and there's teams in the Premier League that are worse than them, and Wolves will probably get some players back, and then they'll start playing better again. And they might sign a couple of players into summer that might help them, and probably another striker or another defender, a couple of players. But I could just see them coming to a mid-table team, really, maybe pushing for Europe in the next couple of seasons. That's about all, really. I don't think they'll be in trouble unless they lose more players.
So, at the time of recording, obviously, Wolves are currently 14th in the Premier League. So you think with the form that they're currently at the moment, you think with because you think like the style of play last season and in the Championship, I remember when I was student at Wolves, the football that I was watching was close to unbelievable for the Championship. But Wolves of this season, you could argue that with the record in last 19 games, they've won 6, drawn 4, lost 9. So you think with this form currently, they're not going to transfer it to next season. And also, you've got to put into consideration with COVID and everything, teams don't have as much money as they may have done before.
No, I don't think there will be relegation. Unless they lose players, big players through injury, or they sell players and they don't replace them. But no, the team and the owners wouldn't let them get to that stage, because ultimately, if they went down to the Championship, the owners would leave the club and Wolves would be in a position they were nearly 10 years ago, where they were struggling for money and going down the leagues. And that won't happen.
I don't think it would come to the point where the owners would leave the club, but like...
They would. Trust me, they would.
They need to find someone to buy it off them first.
Yeah, that's
no one's got money. No one's got money. But
if they got relegated next season, they would. But they won't. They won't get relegated.
The way I'm seeing this is, Wolves have obviously had this grand plan of trying to be a Champions League club. I've heard that a lot of Wolves fans have told me that. Obviously, we know those some of those Wolves fans who might have said that in the past to us, or they obviously got big plans. But the way that the transfer policy is not really showing that really at the moment. Like, for example, I'm trying. Like, okay, so like say Kayana Hueva, who's just joined from Liverpool. Like he's the one I probably know the most about because I've seen him play for us before. He's got the potential, but at the end of the day, he's not. Say a team like Southampton would Southampton maybe put him in like right at the deep end straight away? Obviously, now Southampton have got a good youth policy as well, but like Kayana Hueva has not played a professional game. Like he's only played in the FA Cup for Liverpool until this season. So I'm just thinking, would they have dropped him in the deep end as quickly as Wolves have done straight away, instead of signing like a player with experience who's played it in like a big league, for example, and maybe like has a knowledge of the game, while let's say Kayana Hueva is still learning about football. I think he's only like 17, 18, so
well,
it's a strange
19.
one.
He's 19. It's just his birthday
But
today.
okay, he's still quite young at the end of the day. 19 still a young age in football.
Yeah, but I think they brought him because obviously they believe he's got potential to become a good player, and I think he has. And I think buying upcoming talent is a good thing. He just needs to play more. If he plays him more, he'll get more experience. I mean, it's like with Man United when they started playing all the youngsters in '92. You know, yeah, okay, they were very good, but unless you play them week in, week out, they're not going to develop. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think he's going to become the next, I don't know, he's going to be like the best right back in the world, but, you know, I think he'd be a good player.
Well, listening to Kingy's point there, I think he's got a decent point, because I've always said when it comes to teams, when they're trying to refresh things, I think there's only 3 ways you can be different as a squad.
Yeah.
You can either change tactics a little bit, so you don't become predictable. You can either sign players, or you can youth, because you got to think logically. I was talking to my dad yesterday about Wolves, actually, to think about it, and I was saying with young players, you think logically. If they're young and they haven't kicked the ball professionally for the first team, opposition scouts for the opposition, whoever they're playing, they don't have a report on these young players, so they're the unknown. No one knows about them. So I look back at when Hoover, or whoever you pronounce his name, played against United, at right back. For me, he's one of the best players on the pitch, because I'm guessing Man United at that current time didn't know anything about this young guy, so they couldn't do any scout report on this talent that Wolves have got. Same with Fabio Silva.
I think he's a pretty good player, personally. I think he's got potential to be a decent player, and I think Wolves is a good club for him because I think he'll progress there. I think Wolves. Go on,
Karen. Sorry, can you?
I think Wolves will. I think they'll go for a tough period this season. I think they'll finish between 12th and 16th. I think they'll struggle this season, but I think they'll be all right. And then next season, I think I just think Wolves will. I think Wolves might take 2 to 4 years to get back to where they were in the heights of last season, the season before, and then they might start challenges. I think they just changed the philosophy. So I think, well, okay, the last one hasn't worked. Maybe we need to have a refresh and just build again.
So the problem I'm having is really, obviously, it's all well and good having youth players in your team. That's brilliant. Obviously, you need to give youth players a chance to develop and learn how to play the game. Obviously, like there's been loads. Like Southampton, as we've said, they're a big team for that as well, and obviously that's helped them a lot in obviously the last few years. But you need experience to help those players come through. You can't just have a squad of young players trying to hopefully develop as quickly as possible to become starting 11 players. You need players who've been there and done it all, basically at that level.
I think Wolves have got some experienced players. I think you've got Cody as a leader. I think he's good for experience. You've got Saiss, he's pretty experienced. You've got Marcel.
Bennett, you say that. What Wolves have done really well, they've kept the core players in their squad that have been promoted from the Championship. They've got experience of winning or getting promoted into the Championship. And we've all said that the Championship is one of the hardest leagues to
Yeah.
in the world
Yeah,
I just
to be
think
in.
with
Oh.
Wolves, I'll say my last bit and then I'll let someone else. I just think with Wolves this season, they've changed the way they're trying to play.
Yeah,
They're just having a change of philosophy because the thing is, teams have found out how to play Wolves.
exactly.
They've been found out. So they're going to go for a tough period and it's probably going to take them. But the thing is, they've got Chelsea, Arsenal, and who else they got in the next few
I've got,
games?
I've
I
got
think
the
it
matches
might
here.
be Sheffield United or no, not Sheffield United. I don't know.
So they've got Chelsea, Palace, Arsenal, Leicester, and Southampton the next 5 fixtures, and they've got
Well, I think they're pretty tough, but I'll tell you something now. They'll beat Chelsea.
you think?
Yes, they'll
Okay.
beat Palace, and I think they'll beat Arsenal. I think they'll win all three of them.
And say your last point, and then I'll ask you a further question.
I say that, and I mean it. They will win all three of those games. Because
I don't.
Chelsea, rubbish.
Yeah, but you're saying that obviously Chelsea obviously haven't had a great season, but Wolves to me, like I know, I feel up front especially they look pretty poor up front. I know obviously they've got Adama Traore who's always going to be deadly with his pace,
Everyone
and
Catrone as well.
Pedro Neto's done quite well, but then you got Fabio Silva, for example, it was the club's record signing at 18 years of age. Think of the pressure that's people are putting on him to score the goals to get Wolves further up the league, and he's not really. Obviously, I know he scored against West Brom over the weekend, which is fair enough. That's a good game to score in against your local rivals. But Jimenez obviously is obviously really missed by Wolves, obviously because that injury was quite a bad one for him. And he was the man scoring. It was getting Wolves the crucial wins that they needed. Maybe if they didn't play well enough during that game, but now they haven't got him. They're lacking a match winner to try and get the game back to get back their way. For example, like obviously they're lacking that sort of that match winner. As I just said, it's a big thing for a team to have that, because if they can have that, then they can turn losses to draws to wins, etc. And it's important.
If Wolves lose their next 5 matches, they're in a relegation battle. I concede that.
This season or next season?
This season.
Okay,
if they lose the next 5 games, they're in a relegation battle.
Okay, so I ask your questions. I'm hearing both your points, and I'm kind of hearing a common theme here. You both talked about the need of change, a change in philosophy. Obviously, due to Wolves' form and currently the tabloids and the press have been homing on them a little bit. They've been homing on the manager, Nuno, who got them promoted to the Championship. Is that changing philosophy a changing manager, for example? What do you think?
No, I don't think they should change the manager. Not yet.
Why?
If he loses the next 5, if they lose the next 5 games, he'll be gone.
When does it change? When
the next 5? I'll tell you what, Ethan, these next 5 games are the biggest games for Wolves now for a long time. If Wolves don't pick up 7-8 points in these next 5 games, they're in trouble. Although I do think they will win their next 3 games. I really do.
That's a bold prediction, you see, because
they'll beat Chorley.
That won't be counted.
We don't count the.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying if Wolves can win 2 out of the next 5 games and draw 1, obviously,
I think they'll win 3. Yeah.
Nuno's kept his job.
Yeah, if they lose the next 5 games, or they don't get many, or they pick up 1 point or 2 points, he'll be gone.
See, what I'm thinking is, yes, Nuno has done a brilliant job for us. You can't say otherwise. He's got them from a mid-table Championship side all the way up to Premier League and Europa League team, basically. He has done a brilliant job. Obviously, he's signed some great players along the way. And ultimately, he'll be remembered fondly by Wolves, whatever happens, whether he stays on or whether he gets sacked. But I'm feeling there's a few cracks starting to show in his game, really. Obviously he wanted to change the way Wolves play into more of a team that takes teams on a bit more, and instead of playing this counter-attacking style of more possession style of play instead of trying to counter attack and try and do all that sort of. Cause that's obviously a lot of teams do that. Leicester do that, obviously, but obviously they're supposed to have bigger plans for Wolves. Obviously, to get that European, to get the Champions League spots, they need to take teams on a bit more and maybe keep the ball for longer periods. But I'm feeling maybe Santo's not the man to get that little push to the Champions League. I mean, like say a team like Everton, who've been in a similar situation to Wolves. They've obviously got Carlo Ancelotti. I mean, I'm not saying that sort of manager could come to Wolves, but maybe like say Southampton with Ralph Hasenhüttl. He's a man who's on the brink maybe of breaking into a top four, and I think.
I don't know if you two would agree with this. I don't know if you two. If Nuno if Nuno was sacked, I don't know why I could see Wolves possibly going for Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, we've spoken about him in the past because he is available at the moment.
I think Thomas Tuchel was a big team personally, but
yeah, but
Wolves was a big team.
Wolves are pretty big, so they've got a very good history, and also I think if he got
money talks, Benny. Money talks.
You compare Wolves to say I don't know Arsenal. Would you say Wolves are bigger than Arsenal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not okay, in current form, but not in terms of history, maybe.
Yeah.
We look back at obviously, for me, if I'm going to put an opinion out there, Arsenal only seem bigger because of their current history.
George,
Wolves
Arsenal,
are
not a big club.
Obviously a big club based on the past place, isn't it?
With Arsenal, but
I'm doing it just to wind Arsenal fans up. It's funny, but
that's great to get loads of fans into the podcast.
No. Arsenal, they were a big club. They still are, but they've lost a lot of their stature of a big club. But they are still a big club. I mean, if they get back into a winning form, then they might, or they start winning trophies again. Then you can say that they're reawoken. But at the moment, they're like a bit of a dormant volcano. So not really doing anything. They are a big club. I was just saying it as a wind up. But they are a big club. But Wolves are, at the moment, you could probably say as big as Arsenal.
But the thing, hang on, Wolves haven't won anything, any major trophies in the last couple of years. Not one, say, a League Cup or an FA Cup. Arsenal have. Arsenal won one last season.
They won the Championship.
That's not a major trophy.
It is. The Championship's a big trophy.
It's not.
The Championship brings in a lot of money financially for clubs.
You earn the money you earn.
You're not going to look at so Newcastle won a Championship. Would you say that's a big trophy to win? Newcastle.
No, but Bennett, your point. The point is, I would say the Championship is harder to win than the FA Cup. Am I wrong?
It is. The Championship earns more money than the FA Cup.
No one's looking at how many Championship leagues you've won. People are going to look at say FA Cups or League Cups or Premier League. It's not going to look at
but the question is, which is harder to win, the FA Cup or the Championship?
Championship.
So what you're saying is every club should get relegated into the Championship?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you shouldn't belittle a club for winning.
Hang on,
one of the hardest leagues in.
But it's not a major trophy.
Ethan, haven't Man United won the Championship technically?
Technically, yes.
There you go. It's a trophy, the Championship.
Oh, so if Man United win it, it's a big trophy. Okay, well.
No, bringing it back though. Bringing it back.
Anyway, we'll move on because we are getting distracted here. But go on, Ethan.
Bringing it back, you're saying that because Arsenal won the FA Cup, it should be seen as a bigger achievement than Wolves winning the Championship. Are you saying that, yes or no?
I am, yeah.
What do you think?
I will give him. I will say. I'm not gonna lie.
It's the oldest competition in football. You can't disrespect. Obviously, it's been there's been a few issues with it in terms of maybe how poor the competition's been, but it's still a massive trophy to win for teams.
If AFC Bridgnorth or Man United won the FA Cup, I'll be happy.
It's not. It's not about because you're saying that like we're not saying that. I think he's saying that the FA Cup isn't a prestigious trophy. Like
I want to win it this
my-
year. I want Man United to win it this year. I
Okay,
want Man
okay,
United.
okay. Here's a better question.
Yeah.
As a Wolves fan, surely as a Wolves fan, you would prefer to win the FA Cup over going back to the Championship and winning that again. Surely.
Probably, yeah,
Well,
because it means the
Yes or no? Yes or no?
League.
Yes or no? Would you prefer to win the FA Cup or winning the Championship?
Well, Wolves fans, comment in the below.
No, but,
What do you want to
but
win?
seriously, and you can joke, but honestly, you surely
They
prefer to
probably
win the
want
FA
to win the FA Cup, but
You
the
got Wembley
Championship,
trips, you got
George,
all that as well.
the Championship, yeah, but technically you get to Wembley when you're in the playoff finals or
but you only
the
get
top.
for FA.
Yeah, we don't really get through in the Championship, do you?
Yeah, but the Championship, you earn more money than the FA Cup.
Yeah, but the FA Cup's more prestigious. It's the prestige.
It is more prestigious.
Prestige
I
of
mean,
winning
the Championship. We agree on that Championship is a good trophy to win though, because you're the top of that league. I think it's a good thing to win.
It's good from a financial perspective, but for prestige, it isn't.
I
Prestige.
mean, look at Norwich.
in the FA
Norwich.
Cup.
If you ask Norwich what were they on in the FA Cup or the Championship? The Championship clearly, because they as soon as they were getting the Premier, they want to go back down and win it again.
But could you argue that getting promoted is bigger than winning the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Well, yes, from a financial perspective, but
No, but as a club, what would you?
listen. Do you remember when Wolves got to the semi-final a couple of years back when they lost to Watford?
Yeah.
We spoke to some Wolves fans back then, and they were absolutely devastated that they didn't get to the final.
But Bennett, where was their position at that moment in time? I'm sure at that moment in time they weren't in a race. No, they weren't in a race because they were in the Championship when they went on that FA Cup run.
They were in the Premier League.
In the Premier League.
When they beat Chelsea.
No, in the Premier League.
They were in the Premier League.
Oh yeah. Sorry. I'm getting mixed up with the one before.
Sorry. Come on, Ethan, mate.
Wait. Hear me out. I'm thinking back to when they beat Chelsea, earlier on, back when
What?
When they're in the
Championship.
Championship.
But when in the Championship, they went on a run that beat us as well. I remember.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that one. I did forget about when
Paul Lambert, I think. I know it was Wenger or Lambert. I can't remember.
No,
I think it was Lambert.
They beat you, but then they lost. No, they beat Liverpool. They lost to Chelsea too. Now.
Was it a replay?
No, they came to
We're going off topic here. We're going off topic. I got it wrong. But okay. But my point was, if a team was in the Championship and they went on the FA Cup, like for example now, let's go to the Championship table. This is all hypothetical.
I love the Championship.
This has been changed from a Wolves debate.
No, but it expresses the point that we're trying to make here.
All right, okay. All right, fair enough.
Stoke City at the moment are 8th in the Championship. Close to a playoff spot. Close to getting... They could realistically get promoted to the Championship.
Okay, right,
I swear, if you win the playoffs, you earn more money than you actually winning the Championship. You earn you get 100 million, I think, from getting third in the Championship.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know how much you get for winning it.
So the point is, and this is going to be the last point till I make my decision who wins. Stoke are 8th in the Championship. Stoke get to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Would they sack it off to save players? Do you sack it off to save your players for the Championship to get on a good run, or do you put a full strength 11 to potentially get to the FA Cup final? Yes or no?
You've gone completely off topic here. Wolves aren't a Championship team.
No, but the point that we're trying to make is should Wolves is FA Cup should Wolves' Championship win be considered as a bigger than winning the FA Cup like Arsenal, to show that they're a bigger club, they're a big club at the moment?
No, I think the FA Cup would be a bigger trophy for Wolves to win.
Do you know, this has been my favourite podcast for this team by I'm loving it. I love the Championship versus the FA Cup. It's one What a comparison.
I just feel that I feel as a Wolves fan, surely with the way that Wolves are at the moment, I mean, obviously it's not a done thing whether they'll be in a relegation battle or not. But if they've got Chorley in the next round of the FA Cup, for them, surely for them, it would make more sense to focus on the FA Cup, go on a long run there, maybe see if they can win it or not. If they win it, obviously that's brilliant. That'll be a big moment for them. And I just feel that despite Wolves' poor league run this season, they'll have something it'll be something for them to smile about come the end of the season. If say they get to another semi-final, maybe even a final. Who knows?
Hold on. Okay, hold on here now.
Agree with that.
We're going to end off the top.
That would generate. One more thing. That would generate a massive buzz.
No, wait. What I'm going to do now, we're going to bring it back. Yeah. Got my phone here. Got a stopwatch. The starting, now hear me out. The starting question was, should Wolves be scared? Not scared, but should Wolves be looking? Wolves be looking at a relegation fight next season? Kingy said no. Bennett said yes. So I'm going to give you 1 minute on the stopwatch to express your point. Then I'll see who's given the best points and who wins the debate.
We just said it earlier.
No, but we're bringing all the points together, and then we decide.
I'll let you go first. Can you go on?
Kingy, you go first.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Minutes.
Wolves will not
start.
be.
Wait. Minutes
we'll go on,
starting now. Go.
Wolves will not be in a relegation battle next season because I believe that this season they will struggle with injuries, but I believe they will possibly go on a cup run. And if they would, I think Wolves fans would accept that if they had a bad Premier League season but won the FA Cup, it would be considered a good season. And I think that would motivate the team and players and attract players to come in for next season, which I believe will help them move up the table. And I think within the next 2 to 4 years, Wolves could be looking at possible European football again.
Okay, you done?
Yeah.
Okay, can you do that in 40 seconds? Can you do it in 40 seconds, okay? Resetting the stopwatch. George Bennett expressing nothing.
Huh.
It's my go now.
Bennett, start now. Wait, now.
Okay, right. The way I see it is, Wolves currently are in the position to be challenging for major trophies. Obviously, the main thing is to try and solidify themselves as a Premier League team. In the future, I think they should go for an FA Cup title because it would generate a lot of buzz for Wolverhampton in general. But currently, the way they're going, I think it could be a dodgy few years for them if they don't sign the correct players, providing more experience for the team, and basically provide more of a solid base for them to build on for the future. And basically, yeah, that's all I want to say on that.
Okay, you done? Okay, good. You did be crap at the queue because you did like 35 seconds, but both good points. So, thinking of, okay. So looking at both your points here, I hear from Georgie B that that Wolves aren't really in a position to go further up the table because they haven't really invested in the right players and they don't have a lot of experience in the squad. And the Kingy side, that mainly, I think the points it's trying to make is they do have the quality in the side. It's just they've been hurt by a lot of injuries, and maybe when the injuries come in and if they're going on a cup run this season, maybe they'll be able to attract players.
Hang on, do you remember when Wolves won the championship? Do you know how busy it was in Wolverhampton that they did the parade through there?
Kingy.
But compared to the FA Cup, it would.
Well, you've had your time. I'm going to decide.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be. Yeah, but I bet you more people would came out to that championship than the FA Cup win.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
Guys, you've had your time. You've had your time. For this debate, the first bench debate, my winner is going to be Alex King.
What?
Yes.
How is it Kingy?
For me, Wolves list of both points. I think Wolves as a side, They've still got the quality.
As a celebration.
They've still got the quality in the squad, even though they've lost players such as Jota and Doherty. They've still got the quality in the side, and they've still got the core players in the squad that got promoted last season. And I think once COVID's done, once they can build money and maybe push on a little bit this season, they can bring in more experience, more quality into the side. That's my decision for this bench debate.
So basically,
also, Ethan,
he's won basically on the fact that apparently the core of the squad's still there, even though they need to change the core of the squad because they've lost too many good players.
You need to think, we're running out of time here.
Wow,
you got to think
Patrick Cutrone, what a great player.
You got to think when Jimenez comes back. You got to think when Johnny gets back, they'll have two quality players for the squad.
More than that. He's got like 4 or 5.
Guys, we're running out of time here. That's my decision.
Big players.
And that's done.
Players.
Do you remember when? Guys!
Good God.
Do you not remember it?
You can leave your conversations for today. What are we going to say? Wolves fans, football fans, what do you think? Who do you think won the debate? Do you think Wolves are in trouble this season and maybe next season? Tell us in the comments. So, for this debate, I'm going to say it's goodbye from me. Goodbye. Goodbye from the winner, Alex King.
Bye. Thanks for listening, guys.
And the loser, Georgie B. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. But you're just wrong. You honestly, you even agree with me. Hang on, before we finish now, you did agree with me before that Wolves are in a dodgy position, so you can't really say anything now, Ethan.
Okay. So,
George, do you remember
guys,
the bus parade?
See ya as a Bench Podcast. Peace.
Good evening, everybody. A pleasure and a privilege, as always, to be at Anfield, where we are hoping for another miracle like Istanbul. Shaqiri in his own half, holds it square towards Matip.